Oh boy, you better strap yourselves in, guys, because this is going to be a long one. Because I am reviewing how many games? Oh, I must need my bumps tested. Oh well, let's get going. So let's start off in my Resident Evil marathon with Resident Evil 0 HD. Well, yes, it's a bit old, but been brought up to date, I guess, with the new HD graphics. Unfortunately, the controls are still clunky console conversion specials. Not too bad, but I've certainly played with better. Even if I try to use a controller, look like a chimp hitting it with a rock. So I'll stick to keyboard and mouse if you don't mind. So, you're looking for your mates in a spooky mansion is the basic premise of a game. Yes, there are zombies to be shot in the head and puzzles sprinkled around, but nothing too taxing. Graphics, I guess, are a lot better than the original sort of Resident Evil 0 and been brought up to date quite a bit. But still, you can tell that they're still from a console origin. It's a very close POV. Oh well, that's just, you know, par of the course, I guess. So, let's start scoring this, shall we? If you're into zombies, you may be into this game. So let's see what I give it. I give it a 6 on my graphics because they're being brought up to date. Sound, it's 5. Nice music. It's good spot sound effects. Dire voice acting, so that's why it's lost quite a bit. But, you know, I've certainly had worse. Playability, unfortunately I've only given it a 4. A, it's lost a bit due to being a console conversion, and B, I suppose because of its age as well. It's just not a nice game half the time to play with. Coolness, hey, it's a Resident Evil game, they're all cool, so I'm going to score it a 6 anyway. Lasting, I give say purely middle of the road. It's got some lasting ability, but I would imagine it's a game you come back to if you've got nothing better in your library to play at the time. So that gives us a total of 26. That puts it in the solid C category. Now, let's go on to Resident Evil 4. Quite a jump there, isn't it? I don't know what happened to 2 and 3. Or even 1. I know what happened to 1. Resident Evil 0 is 1, I know. Okay, so now we're a man rather than a woman as in Resident Evil 1. And this time we're looking for the President's daughter. How very unfortunate that she seemed to have got lost, stressed, kidnapped, / abducted or whatever else. The voice acting goes a bit wonky there and you hear about 2 or 3 different versions of that in the game. I honestly must say I played it for just over an hour and I hated every goddamn minute of it. Yes, I know it's a console conversion. I know I have to accept part of these games. But Jesus, the controls. It felt like I felt like it was Yuri on Ice time. It was beyond awful. Half the time you're spinning around trying to get a view of whatever you're looking at because you can't lock on properly because the controls are so goddamn awful. You're constantly hitting the side by people or you miss things because of you can't control or turn properly or look at things properly. The POV is so close it might as well been up your left nostril, quite frankly, the point of view. Need I carry on? Well, I'm afraid I've got to because I've still got several more pages of this to go. of these notes, I'm afraid. So, let's see. Yes, you're still shooting zombies or villagers, or you're never quite sure at this point in time, and quite frankly, I don't give enough of a flying fig to actually carry on playing the game enough to find out what they are. So, as I say, you're constantly hit from the sides, you can't see well, you're just destroying boxes half the time, shooting stuff to find a few extra bullets, but they seem to be really short supply, and half the time you end up having to do your Michael Flatley high kicking impersonation or use a knife, which doesn't seem a great idea, as most of the people attacking you seem to use scythes and other farm implements that have got a far longer reach than you have with your silly little bread knife. So, at least I suppose one good thing, you have a laser sight on your gun this time, so you can actually see where the hell you're firing it. But quite frankly, that's not much of an advantage. So let's just score this thing and move on. Graphics, totally muddy. Too close point of view, console copy, and a bad console copy of that are most of the graphics. I'm afraid it'll scrape a 4. Sound, the music is okay, the sound is not bad with spot sound effects, etc. But the voice acting, oh boy. I think they got the bottom of a barrel with this one. Playability. It's complete rubbish. It's scraped a 3, and I'm being generous with that, quite frankly. Cool rating. It's a Resident Evil game, so it's got a certain cool factor to it, but with a god-awful design and implementation of controls, I'm sorry, it can only scrape a 5. Lasting. Well, I suppose it's going to last on my hard drive. Oh, sorry, I've just deleted it off my Steam library. I was so unimpressed with it, and I'll probably never play it again. It was that bad. So I give that a 3, and I'm being very generous there. So that scrapes a 20, which is, well, actually I'm going to take several points off because I'm being a mean bastard. I'm going to give that a B game score. So now we move on to Resident Evil 6. Oh, here we go again. Console copy, check. Close point of view, check. Control system, Marquis de Sade would be a happy boy with. Yep. But I suppose at least you can sort of change them over and change your keys over, but that's not much use because this is a hit one key in 1 second or instant death game. So let's see, you have an open with a complicated control method. You have to hit one or more keys, which are always different, in a certain very narrow point of time, or instant death, rinse and repeat gameplay. Boy, this just reminds me of old Dragon's Quest sort of spray sace gag gaming. So this is how many years separate the two, and we haven't come up with something better? Sorry boys, go back to the drawing board. This is just rubbish. I said I would give myself an hour for an initial view. After stupid death after stupid death, after less than 30 minutes of gameplay when this is meant to be on easy mode, I just gave up, quite frankly. It's a great idea, great concept, pretty good graphics, but too close point of view like I said. unfortunately far too dark of a bit eyesore, combined with crappy controls and an awful menu system. Sorry, this is the worst sort of whole system I've seen since the last one. So it's shoot and find, occasionally have the stupid hit a key now or fail, or hit a key now, oh sorry you failed and died yet again, please rinse and repeat gameplay. Sorry, this just had me quitting and erasing. This is no better, I think, and even the couple of years that separate it from 4 to 6. Total fail, sorry guys. But I'm going to better score this thing anyway. Graphics. Well, okay, they're better than the last one, but still console copy gameplay and too close point of view. But I'll be generous and give it a 6. Sound. Now the music is nice in this. It's got good sound effects. Pretty reasonable voice acting, if little stiff and boring. Like they phoned it in on a Friday afternoon while watching their watches to get off quick. Here's where it starts going downhill. Playability. A 3. And again, I've been generous with that. Because quite frankly, this hit a key in 1 second or you die rubbish deserves to be in the past, not in modern gaming. Coolness. A fantastic idea let down with absolutely awful design. What a waste. So I can only give it a 5, which is purely middle of the road. Lasting. Give me a break. Oh, this has got all the lasting ability of an ice cube on a barbecue. 3. And I'm being generous there. So that scrapes through into my, I believe. Let me just check. Yep, that scrapes through into my C category. Right then, let's move on to something I hope better. Next Resident Evil game we have is Resident Evil Revelations Biohazard. Now this is what I call a Resident Evil game. You play as 2 different characters. It is fun with zombies. You play as one main man character, one main woman character, and you also switch between them, but you also have 2 sub characters which you switch between to do various to use their various abilities as well. So as I said, it's a shoot zombies, look at everything, try and find all the secrets and pick up all the items. It shoots zombies and weird creatures, solve simple puzzles and find hidden stuff. You've got an ability tree which keeps things interesting, keeping your guns fed, lots of running and jumping around the place. All good, clean fun. Now let's see. Graphics are okay, but console copy quality, I'm afraid. A little better point of view, but still very narrow. I like the idea of swapping between 2 characters every chapter and seeing the game in a different way, or seeing it in a different place and talking about similar things that are happening. I like that idea. Sound is good. Music is fun, bright, spooky, where needed. Voice acting is okay, but not the best or worst I've heard. But I can't slam it for that. Controls are a bit wonky, but that's due to a console copy from controller and wanting you to really use a controller, but I use a keyboard and mouse. But at least you can totally remap keys, so where they start off a bit weird, give them a quick change around and it all starts to make sense after a good remapping. And the gameplay, I think, is well paced and interesting, especially like the whole premise of the game, which unfortunately I can't say or it'd be too many spoilers there, but good clean fun, I say. So let's score it. Graphics, I give that a 7. It's lost a bit because of a close point of view, and the graphics are a little washed out, but I can't slam it too much. Sound, I give it a 6. It's got nice music, good spot sound effects, and reasonable voice acting. So again, I can't slam it for that. Playability, now we just start jumping up. I also give it a 6. It's lost a little due to, as I say, the console-tastic nature of the game, but at least there's none of that hit a key within 1 second or you die crap, or none that I've found so far anyway. Cool. Oh yes, it's a Resident Evil game. All Resident Evil games are cool, but this is a nice fun idea in a game, so I give it a 7. Lasting, I give it just a bit more of an average, so I give it a 6. It is a good clean game. The swapping mechanic I really like, different abilities, good gunplay, and I think well balanced. So all in all, I think this is a fun little game. So that gives it a total gear score of 32, which puts it in my B category. And a very well deserved B there, methinks. So, lastly we have Resident Evil Revelations 2 Biohazard. Oh boy, now we're talking. This is at fun and at last the Resident Evil game I was really looking for. Controls a bit clunky, but no longer feel like Swan Lake on ice. Okay, the POV is still low, but this is because of a console-tastic game it's from initially. But at least somebody's actually thought a bit about it. The keys are well laid out and able to be totally remapped to your choice. And you actually feel in control of this game. You got good simple puzzles, and again swapping between 2 main protagonist characters and 2 minor characters to use their abilities like the torch and to detect people depending on which character you have selected at the time, or just shoot them as the 2 main characters. So each of your 2 different characters obviously have different abilities and obviously different people, as our main protagonists are now seen to be a father and the sister of the daughter. Sister or daughter? Friend of a daughter, I should say. Idiot, I don't know why I write your sister down. So, I thought I would usually play my first hour a good impression time. I played for 5. Now this is a good sign. This means I'm really enjoying myself and totally get lost in the game. So let's see, we've got good graphics, a bit close POV as I said, it's a bit dark in places, in both in nature and in the actual game. I like the idea of the ability tree, which you can purchase new abilities at the end of each chapter with your money and stuff you found along the way. I like the gunplay and the running and jumping, it's all good, clean fun. So let's score this bit, shall we? Graphics. I've dinged it a couple of points because of the darkness and console nature, but I award it a 7. Sound. Lovely sound, good sound effects, great music, good point sound effects, and above all, reasonable voice acting. It doesn't feel like it's been dialed in on a 56k modem time. Playability 7. Now I feel like I'm actually playing this game rather than struggling with this game. Coolness. It's a Resident Evil game. As I constantly repeat, all Resident Evil games in my mind are cool. So I award it a 7. Now at last we've got a game which I think will last. So I've given it a 7. Which gives it a total of 35, which is just a B+. I need 1 point off of an A to give you a total idea of how much I enjoyed the game. And how much I think you should go out and buy, particularly this last game, Resident Evil Revelations 2. Well, I think that is way long for just my voice review. I will leave you with a little gameplay from each of them. Sorry about this long review, but to cover so many games, I have to yak a lot. This is MasterlitchUK signing off until the next review. And I hope you're all having fun playing on the PC like I am. Catch you later.
Stay focused.
She was your partner before, right?
Yeah, my partner from before. What about it?
I was, just asking.
Shit.
Chris, are you okay?
It's just my leg. I'm not going anywhere for a while.
Hold on, I'll be right there.
Damn, there's too many of them.
Hang in there, Chris.
Shit, ammo's not gonna last.
Me and my sweet ass are on the way.
Looks like this is the only way through.
The monsters.
Monsters? Must be the infected the brief mentioned.
another one.
How do you know?
I can just sort of see them. There's something ahead.
No, you
Be
don't,
careful.
young lady. It's too dangerous.
Why? I'm not scared. There's something ahead. Be careful. It's close, but it hasn't seen us. There's something ahead. Be careful.
You just let me handle this one.
There's something ahead. Be careful. 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 There's something ahead. Be careful.
Can you make it?